everyone, what is up? Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. Today we're going to be talking about what is happening with XRP in the XRP community. Now on CoinMarketCap, XRP is at 24 cents, slightly in the green. But now guys, before we jump into news, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, nor is financial advice, just entertainment value only. Carlos will tweet out.
And then another time, Bitcoin went from 85 cents all the way to $29. And then it crashed to $3. And then another time, Bitcoin went all the way to $213, and then it crashed all the way to $70. And then another time, Bitcoin went all the way to $1,100, and then it crashed all the way to $239. So the moral of the story is don't buy Bitcoin because you know it's going to crash again.
What did we hear right there? You heard it. Never buy Bitcoin. Next time when it moons, don't forget to take some profits. Remember, a new asset class, XRP community. Peter Pumpkin to tweet out.
You know, when I joined Ripple, we were a small company. It was about 4.5 years ago, and there were 3 use cases the company was focused on. One was a smart contracts platform called Codius, using the XRP ledger. The second was a company, kind of a project called Global Identity, and the third was the payments thing. My view was we had to focus, and choose one. And if we were lucky with that one over a period of years, maybe we'd get the opportunity to do number 2 or number 3 or number 4. I don't look back. I mean, given what has transpired, one could argue that we should have focused more on smart contracts and what happened with the Ethereum network. I don't regret that. I think the payments, like, you have north of $20 trillion going cross-border each year. It is fraught with error rates, and it's slow. It's expensive. For me, it's a classic like Silicon Valley going up against the big behemoth Goliath. But it's so broken. I mean, when I go talk to banks, it's a beautiful thing for me because banks don't like Swift. They're frustrated with Swift. Their customers don't like Swift. And that's a great place to be when you're selling into that. So do I think there's other vertical use cases? And maybe if I went back, could we do it differently? Yeah, sometimes I wonder that. But I also think we have been so fortunate through a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill that we find ourselves with a lot of momentum in, I think, really solving a problem using these technologies at scale.
Boy, XRP has tweet out.
I mean, it was innovative. Hats off to the people for trying something, but I think it was a little bit too dependent on the ICO craze, which obviously kind of flamed out, right? It didn't seem like it was much more than that. Whereas I think web monetization, I think that is a long-term trend. So web monetization just simply means once you get this Internet of Value, so again, things like ILP are being used there, and that you then have this kind of a more open system where content creators can go online and they can fund their models through web monetization. And we don't know how that's going to quite play out yet. Could be I still have hope for Google. Okay, I don't have any hope for Facebook, but I do have hope for Google because they do spawn a lot of weird stuff. And they've actually poked around with web monetization, even though it's an affront to their ad model. But I don't know, still the founders of that company, they show up at Burning Man, they do all kinds of cool stuff. So still have hope for those guys. But so that could spawn it. Apple could spawn it too with their movement into sort of privacy above all. They're not an ad model. They don't have a dog in the hunt there.
Indeed, lots to look forward to. Let's see what happens. Interesting times in human history in terms of technological innovation. This week connects to us next week. Once again from Boy XRP.
Climate change, those are kind of unacceptable methods when you have to chew that kind of electricity up just to confirm a transaction, which you don't have to do. You could do it in other ways. Like XRP Ledger does it in a consensus model. It just doesn't use meaningful amounts of electricity. So I think maybe people use that as store of value, I guess, but you just don't.
What did we hear right there? Yeah, maybe they'll use Bitcoin as a store of value, I guess. Georgia Sweeto, could the end game for the dollar be dollar PTSD?
if the dollar is continually going up and up and up against other currencies, just crushing other countries and corporations, potentially creating this huge collapse, when the dust settles and these countries and corporations finally recover, if they even survive, they look at themselves and they have this dollar PTSD, where they say, we are never going to do that ever again. We painted ourselves into a corner by using the dollar and taking out all this dollar-denominated debt for decades. When you combine that with the fact that because the United States has the reserve currency, it gives them the ability to create all these sanctions because they can leverage the SWIFT system. And whenever they want to crush your economy, they can do so by putting up one of these economic sanctions. So after the crash, assuming it happens because the dollar keeps going up and up and up, and I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen, I'm just walking through a thought experiment so you can determine the probabilities on your own. But if this happens after the crash, these corporations and countries are going to have this dollar PTSD. They're going to want nothing to do with it whatsoever. They're going to be looking for an alternative system.
What we need is XRP. Now guys, just to the fun part of XRP and the XRP community. Now this is quite interesting. Val just tweeted out, he agrees. We see the tweet right here. White with gold and center surrounded by green. I would say alchemy for gold personally. And then we can see he liked the tweet. But if we go down here, what's the significance of the gold X on this calendar? September is almost over. Judy Shelton hasn't taken over the Fed yet. Now, we've seen this calendar before. We don't really need an official announcement to know it's here. Think about why this is all happening so rapidly. Think about the regulations and White House gold symbolism. Uphold making those comments as well as being an XRP fan. Cash is almost dead. It's here. Print like crazy. Once again from Val Jester. His time is 91. 91 is 9/11 in the Phoenix. Destruction. Some people are concerned with the false flag tomorrow. Like always, be vigilant, persevere. We can see this. Please hold on. It looks like something should be happening tomorrow. Bashy Crypto tweeted out, banks have one fear and one fear only, rising prices of metals like gold and especially silver. They have been caught numerous times trading back and forth between each other and get a slap on the wrist and pay a fine. Once the music stops, all hell will break loose. It's coming. Corporate Info tweeted out, day 2 to 7. Banks will be closed and there will be a lot of uncertainty and confusion. Some businesses will be temporarily closed. Some of those that remain open may accept cash. Others will only accept gold or silver coins. A lot of interesting times, guys. What do you guys think will happen? Eric Colbelt has tweeted out, is it just me thinking that Ripple is ready to open every corridor possible on Earth and are just waiting on the signal? Because the Bahamas launching their own CBDC next month, I think it will be a snowball effect. If I'm wrong, enlighten me. I believe we have finally made it and are so close. It will happen anytime now. I'm just so flipping excited. I can't wait for the XRP community to explode with excitement and the newfound wealth. 2020 is the year of the digital asset. The Crypto Lark has tweeted out, historically the S&P 500 has done poorly in September and quite badly in October of election years. Bitcoin's high correlation to the equity markets could mean that we are in for some big bumps over the next 6 weeks. Good news is that November is usually a strong month. Isn't that interesting, guys? September poorly, quite badly in October, but November is a strong month. XRP Crow tweeted out, XRP is 57,000 times more efficient than Bitcoin. Again, XRP environmental sustainability, more green economy. Once again from XRP Crow, mark your calendar, swelled by Ripple, October 14th and 15th, 2020. Key speakers, we can see those two from World Economic Forum and the World Bank Group. Another date, guys, this date we shall watch out for, 14th and 15th of October. Goran Gecko tweeted out, emergency. This comes from Crypto Bull. When XRP moons, it will be so fast that most people will still wait for it to drop after it gained 1,000% already. Hopefully, guys. The final tip for today's video comes from Baba Cugs. Phase 3 begins in November as the calendar says. Phase 3 begins November 1st. Again, guys, we're getting closer each day, but who really knows what will happen at the end of the day. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe if you guys are ready. Feel free to be a member of the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day, and you guys, see ya.
This is the beginning of the greatest economic cycle this country has had since World War II. And I knew the things that Donald would do, and he hasn't even got started. But this is the eye of the motherfucking storm, the perfect storm. It ain't never going to get any better. Never. This is perfect for the QLA model. If I could have written a prescription or a formula, I couldn't have written it any better. Low interest rates, money's free, you stupid. Massive chaos. And Donald's going to rip the mother economy apart. And he's going to for practice in a good way. This is it. It ain't never going to get anything better. This is like a multiple orgasm the rest of your life, you fucking slags that are in the audience. This is it.
Sometimes I don't want to hear what Dan has to tell me. But as I wrote in one of my blogs, the old man, he's always right. Because he's telling you what you don't want to hear about yourself, but what you know is true. And that is, you're not stepping yourself up. You're not stepping your game up. And you get caught up in fear. As Dan says, false expectations appearing real.